You ever wonder how we really learn a new language? I mean, not just memorizing a bunch of words, but actually getting how to use them. Well, today we're going to pull back the curtain on just one single language lesson. We're going to take it apart piece by piece to show you the hidden architecture of how we learn.
And it all starts with something so simple. An exchange you've probably had a dozen times today. Are you ready? Not yet. Wait a minute. Right? Seems totally ordinary. But this little conversation, it's the seed, the starting point for this entire lesson.
But what's really happening in this little chat? Because, this isn't just small talk. Not at all. It's a super carefully crafted scenario, and it's designed to do three things: introduce, explain, and then test some very specific language skills. There's a hidden structure here, a whole system at play, and we are about to map it out.
All right, here's our game plan. First, we'll look at that simple conversation. Then, we're going to open up the grammar toolkit and see the building blocks inside. After that, we'll see how practice makes perfect with some good old-fashioned repetition. And finally, we're going to face the tornado test.
Yep. Okay, let's dive into part one. So, at the very heart of this lesson is this dialogue. You've got two people, Andy and Kate. He's ready to leave, but she's not quite there yet. She's got that feeling, that she might have forgotten something.
And boom, this is where the lesson really kicks in. So Andy starts asking these questions, almost like he's going down a checklist. Did you put on sunscreen? Yes, I put it on. Did you turn off the radio? Yes, I turned it off. See the pattern? Put on becomes put it on. Turn off becomes turned it off. These little action verbs are the absolute key, and we're about to put them under the microscope. Okay, let's pop the hood and see how this thing is built. To really get what's happening in that dialogue, the lesson gives the learner two absolutely crucial tools. Think of them as the fundamental concepts that make the whole conversation tick. So, the first tool in the toolkit is something called a phrasal verb. It sounds complicated, but it's really not. It's just when a regular verb, like put or turn, teams up with another little word like on or off, and together they create a totally new meaning. But here's the real kicker. A lot of these verbs are separable, and that's the main challenge of this whole unit. And this table just lays it all out perfectly. Look at how the object, in this case the little word it, splits that phrasal verb right down the middle. Turn off the radio becomes I turned it off. Put on sunscreen becomes she put it on. See that? That's the exact grammatical pattern the student has got to lock in. Now, to stop this from being just, a boring grammar rule, the lesson does something really smart. It connects this abstract idea to a simple physical action we all know. We don't just learn put on as some concept. We see it in action with something totally familiar. You put on your shoes. It's real. It's tangible. And suddenly, it just clicks. All right, tool number 2 in our kit, the adverb of manner. I love this one. If those phrasal verbs tell us what action happened, these adverbs tell us how it happened. Did you do it quickly, gracefully, beautifully? Do you walk quickly or slowly? Speak loudly or quietly? This adds a whole new dimension, a ton of descriptive power to your language. Okay, so we have our building blocks, right? We've got the phrasal verbs and we've got the adverbs, so now what? I mean, you can't learn to build a house by just staring at a pile of bricks. You've got to practice putting them together. And that brings us to what I like to call the assembly line phase of the lesson. And the method they use is a total classic in teaching. It's called I do, we do, you do. It's super simple. First, the teacher shows you how it's done. That's the I do. Then the whole class practices it together. That's the we do. And finally, you, the student, have to apply it all on your own, the you do. It's this really clear, structured path from just watching to actually mastering it. And this practice, it's not slow and thoughtful. No, it happens fast, like a rapid-fire drill. The lesson throws out a question, how does she dance? And then bam, the model answer comes right back. She dances gracefully. The student's job is just to soak up that pattern. Subject, verb, adverb. Again and again. Then, right away, the next one comes. How does he walk? This repetition is absolutely everything. It's training your brain to see the structure without even thinking about it. And the answer, he walks quickly, just drills it in deeper. You replicate that pattern over and over until it just becomes automatic.
Okay, but just when you think you've got it, the drill adds a little twist. It's not just a how question anymore. Now it's a yes or no. Does he speak loudly? And this needs a much more complex answer. Because now the student has to learn how to say no, no he doesn't, and then provide the correction using the opposite adverb. He speaks quietly. And this, right here, is where a simple drill starts to feel like real communication. All right, so after all of that, the deconstruction, the definitions, the drills, it is time for the final exam. This is the moment of truth. This is where a student proves they haven't just memorized a bunch of rules, but that they can actually use them to understand something and act in the real world. And listen, this test is not some boring quiz where you fill in bubbles. No way. It is a hands-on science experiment. The student gets a set of instructions to make a tornado in a bottle. And this isn't just for fun, believe me. This is the final boss of the entire lesson. This right here, this is the goal, to get from a page of written instructions to that, a swirling vortex in a bottle. The student has to successfully use every single thing they've learned up to this point. Now let's look closely at these instructions. What do you see? Put tape on, tape tightly, turn over. Huh, sound familiar? The phrasal verbs and adverbs from the start of the lesson, they are all right here. But this time, they're not just examples on a chart. They are critical commands. If you don't understand what turn over means, your experiment is going to, literally fail. And here it is, the big aha moment. The entire lesson was reverse engineered from this one final task. That first conversation, the grammar rules, all those drills, every single piece was specifically designed to prepare the learner for this one moment of practical application. So, this whole systematic approach, starting with a simple scenario, breaking it down into its core parts, practicing them over and over, and then finishing with a real-world test, this is an incredibly powerful model for learning just about anything. It's how we teach a language, one tiny piece at a time. And it really makes you wonder, right? What other complex skills could we master if we just broke them down with this much care and intention?